Vonte, man.
They react to goddamn most outrageous moments on Beyond Scared Straight.
Speak up, bro.
Who you talking
about? Most outrageous moment on Beyond Scared Straight. I just said that, bro.
Most outrageous moment on Beyond Scared Straight.
Yeah, make sure I'm going.
Yeah, bro, hit straight, bro.
They get into it.
It's like Vonte right there, bro.
Sit him down in there. Let you feel it.
This is a restraint chair. If you come into the facility and you want to act like an idiot, you're placed in a restraint chair.
There have been some pretty insane moments on Beyond Scared Straight during the show's run, which is to be expected when you consider the premise: sending teens that are delinquents into jail to try and reform them. Number 10, when the kids' cells were opened for the inmates. Inmates can be scary when they see these kids. It's like they decide to be mean bullies when the kids are around for the jail program. In this scene, the kids were in the cells to spend the night. The inmates were screaming at the kids as they were wandering to the prison ground. As a tradition, they bang the cell door screaming at the kids. This is part of the jail program, and it's important for the kids to have the feeling of what prisoners look like. It was aimed to discourage the kids from committing crimes in fear of going to jail. If you watch this part of the series, you'll understand how scary and aggressive the inmates are. The cell doors were suddenly opened and the inmates entered to torment the kids even more. Now, it was normal for the inmates to talk to the kids, but these aggressive inmates were with the kids without the supervision of any guards. It was a very crazy moment as the kids and audiences were so scared to death. Thankfully, a guard showed up with a gun to control the situation.
Oh, she is.
I'm making this quick video because it has been 1 month since joining the Cash Flow 101 system, and so what I wanted to...
Number 9, when a kid thought Twin was an actor. It's funny how these kids joke with the program at first and end up crying later on. In this video, Twin, a prisoner who was arrested for probation violation and trafficking, was brought to have a session with the kids. While she was giving her warm-up drill, an officer pointed to a girl who thought Twin was an actor. Twin took the girl aside under the supervision of another officer. She screamed into the girl's face, telling her to do a workout. It took less than a minute for Twin to force tears out of the girl. Then she knew that shit was real. She proceeded to other kids, talking to them one by one. Twin must have a special talent for making kids cry because every kid she talked to on the episode cried. When it looked like it was impossible to break one girl, she brought an assistant, and together they forced tears out of her eyes. Twin must be related to Tiffany Hiss because she talked and acted exactly like her. Her talk session was so crazy that even the officers were resistant, and together...
Yeah,
I would have fired on them.
Nah, nigga ain't done my fair.
Especially seeing one.
I'm pretty sure they don't do nothing but slam you, bro. Put you in the chest and shit.
I seen one when a nigga gave a nigga a cone. The prison gave the little boy the cone. Told that cone shit happened.
Oh no, did y'all see that home gave him Kool-Aid?
Oh yeah, the Kool-Aid.
He like lick your lip. He put the Kool-Aid on your lip, bro. He told me that's my bitch.
That was
Nah, hand in the pocket, finger in the pocket is crazy though.
Finger in the pocket?
Finger in the pocket, baby. Oh, hold on a little shit. Hold on a little.
Oh no.
You never heard it? You never heard about holding on the pocket thing?
Yeah, no.
Come on.
Wait, hold on. When you hold on to a nigga pack, you hear that?
I ain't never heard that shit.
You hear that?
I ain't never heard that shit. I don't know what you talking about.
I'm telling you, you ain't that chain.
You deep down.
Yeah, I forgot y'all nigga from the birds.
You deep down, boy.
They forced tears out of her eyes. Twin must be related to Tiffany Hiss because she talked and acted exactly like her. Her talk session was so crazy that even the officers were restraining her from touching the little girl.
You don't say a thing, but your mama waiting Tino like I gave a. Come on. You know, I'm saving you right now. Saving her punk ass.
What the fuck she's...
Number 8, the inmate being extracted. When juveniles think being stubborn and acting like a gangster is cool, Beyond Scared Straight has implemented the perfect program for that. In this video, the kids were taken on a tour to see an inmate being extracted from a cell because he wouldn't go the easy way. About 4 to 5 officers were in his cell as they tasered him, forced him into the chair, and tied him. As this was going on, the officers told the kids that, "You don't have a choice when you're in here. You do what you're told. You don't want to move? We'll make you move like this."
You don't have a choice when you're in here. You do what you're told. It's not up to you where you're housed. You don't want to move? We'll make you move like this.
Number 7. When the inmates circled the boy who hit his mom. This scene was insane and funny. A little boy was brought to the Beyond Scared Street because he hit his mother. The officer took him to a place full of inmates.
I brought you in there where I take your ass. Hell, woman's crazy. What she was telling me, I brought you in there where I take your ass. First off. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it had hit out when we wouldn't even be here. I'm telling you, I ain't even think like
Like they can't beat your ass, but they beat your ass. You know what I'm saying?
What's right now or back then?
Like now.
Oh yeah, you know, okay. Stop. You know him.
Oh, pat hole outside.
Shit hit that was fried. Oh nah. That's true.
Nah, I told you gonna pick up shit, not my ass.
Oh nah, pick up shit like that.
The officer started shouting on the kid for hitting his mom, and when the inmates heard, without being told, they hovered around the kid and took him over from the policeman. They carried him with his jacket, asking him why he hit his mom. He said it was a form of self-defense, but they weren't hearing it. They continued to shout and probe him. They warned him never to touch his mother again, and he said he was going to hug and apologize to her when he got home.
What you gonna do? That's all you got is your mama. Don't you understand?
Number 6. When a kid was forced to comb an inmate's chest hair. This is another funny and slightly insane moment on Beyond Scared Straight. It happened when the inmates were brought to
I would be home.
Give
me head comb, tell me to comb it, man. Cut it out. Man, what the fuck, man.
Don't tell you. You gotta see.
Huh?
Don't tell.
I ain't even going to the program.
Like you was in the program.
I was not going to find that shit they talking about.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Food gaze is great. Like, they ain't finna try me on no.
Man, trying here.
You come on, go.
talk to the kids as usual. A man on a white singlet was his first to start with his motivational talk. Soon the chest hair inmate came up with his orange jumpsuit. He started telling them what he would make them do when they eventually got imprisoned for a crime. He told a kid to get up on his feet, then he opened his jumpsuit to reveal his chest hair. He said if the kids get jailed, he was going to make them comb his chest hair. Then he gave David, one of the kids, a comb to run the comb through it. The kid was shocked and scared as the other inmate shouted for him to comb the chest hair. David was almost in tears as he was combing it. The inmate didn't care. He even told him to comb it gently without hurting him. The comb was passed to the other kid to replicate the action, but the boy refused. The inmate with the white singlet got so angry that he threatened to beat the boy, but he was thankfully taken away. We all know what would have happened if he handled the boy.
Give him the comb, man. Make him a bitch. You know what? Open it up. Comb his chest. Comb his chest. Right there. I'm gonna beat your ass. Hey, let me go. Hey, let me go. I'm gonna beat you. Let me go. Let me go. Do not move.
Number 5. When the kids were taken to see an inmate. The officers of the jail program do a good job of scaring these kids and making them see what they could end up as if they don't put a stop to their unlawful acts. On this tour, the kids were taken to a man in solitary. The man is suspected to have a mental disorder. He was tied into a chair and his mouth was covered. He screamed despite this as the kids were brought before him. He tried to break free from the chair. This crazy scene was to show the kids the effect of drugs and fighting.
Look at
4. The Moment Laundry Guy. Kids were taken to the prison laundry. A boy was in tears and this irritated the inmate. He told him not to call him sir and gave him some instructions about the laundry. The officer asked if he wanted to answer to someone like the inmate or his parents. The inmate later addressed the rest of the kids one by one and they kept referring to him as sir. He got so pissed that he threatened to kill the next kid that called him sir.
You got brothers and sisters? Yes, sir. Don't call me sir! The next one of you little maggots calls me sir, I swear to God I'm gonna kill one of you. Let me the first child.
Number 3. When an inmate had a weird talk session. When kids are taken on tour, they're allowed to see and hear almost everything in the prison, so inmates are not restricted or told to filter their words. Since the series is not scripted, there are occasions for some weird conversations. The inmate in this video started his session by telling the kids that the jail is his house. A kid boldly asked him where he was going to go if he got out of jail. He got offended by the interruption and asked for his age. He acknowledged that he had seen him and that he was going to come for him when he gets out of jail. The kid started smiling and it angered the inmate even more. He asked the boy if he knew what a manpoon was. He explained that it was a period where one has to take toilet paper for as long as 2 days after being. Immediately, the smile cleared off the boy's face. He continued to creep the boy out as he made sexual comments about his teeth. He told the boy to suck on his tongue, too. He also declared that there were many of the inmates that would make him kiss them.
You know what a man-pon is? A man-pon's where you gotta take toilet paper 2 days after being so you think you get a pretty good idea. That's a man-pon. Can you handle a man-pon?
Number 2. When Lee tried to punch a guard. 13-year-old Lee was into drugs, fighting, and graffiti. The girl tried to punch a guard during a training exercise. While the kids were forced to jog in place, Lee had her fist folded while up for a punch, and then the guard asked if she wanted to hit him. "Hit me if you want to," the guard said. She threw the punch, but missed. Number 1. When a boy got strapped in a restraint chair. It would be easy if these kids would just learn easily. Unfortunately, these kids don't always learn the easy way. That's why they're in the program. A female teen was strapped into the restraint chair for disobeying orders. The restraint chair is a chair that restricts movement and it's meant for stubborn kids. The teenager had refused to eat what...
Y'all seen on they put home brother in the body bag.
Oh, I did see that. They coupled his ass.
Ain't no way, man. Got homes in the motherfucking body bag.
That shouldn't allow that shit, bro.
Nah,
they both in the shit. But like, he like, cause his brother, his little brother followed his footsteps.
He followed his big brother type shit.
They coupled his ass up.
They were like, you let your brother follow your foot, or if he go, hey, he get killed, you gotta sit that nigga in the bag.
Hold it.
What was served. At first, they locked her in a cell alone, but this method didn't break her fierceness and food refusal, so they resorted to the restraint chair, which seemed to work just well enough.
Put him in the chair. Sit him down in that. Let you feel it.
This is a restraint chair. If you come into the facility and you want to act like an idiot, you're placed in a restraint chair.
They took his shoes. Watch this.
That ends our list for today of 10 beyond insane moments on Beyond Scared Straight. If you like this...
I'm gonna work too hard for them shoes. And taking shoes like feet. I don't give a fuck. Alright, that's the end of that reaction. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. Roll to 8K.
8K, nigga. Roll to 20K. Roll to 20K, man. We out.